you again for stopping back by my channel. I welcome you each and every time. If you like to comment, please do so. Please like this video at the bottom so that it can rotate, all right? Now, this information that oh, don't forget your breaths, okay? Breathing God in and out. The reason why I say this is because breathing has always been something irrelevant. You expect to breathe every day, right? But we all know that if you didn't have that breath, that is total cut off, right? So I believe that knowing that we are God in the inside, that taking that breath in and out becomes total awareness of that connection that you have with God, all right? Or as God, with God, in God, whatever, because without it, you'll be without God, right? Okay? So I believe that if you're, that's the most simplest way I can practice knowing that I have that connection to keep me in alignment, all right? That's why I say that, all right? So I hope that you guys are doing that. So I'm going to get right to this because I only want to spend 25-30 minutes. I hope you guys stay in alignment with this. I hope it's something that you can appreciate. I know everyone may not like this, but we're at a time now that it ain't about, you know, pleasing people. It's all about the truth. And we have to break free out of, you know, whatever boxes that we've been in, all right, in order to live our purposes and to create better, right? God, shit, right? All right, so this is called Dark Mother, all right? The abbreviation for Dark Mother is DM. Now, I've heard that. I've heard that several times. With this new fad that's going around, divine masculine, divine feminine, okay? Twin flames, you know, all this divine soul person and all this stuff. That's where I heard it from first, okay? And the way that this article or whatever this information is described, being that the masculine came from the feminine, it totally aligns to me when it is being said masculine mother and feminine father, all right? Now, you also understand in my last video I talked about how the eye and the retina and our vision perception is turned upside down and flipped, all right? So the information that we are going to receive pretty much agrees with that deception that has been given, that, you know, we all been deceived, all right? So it ain't really what you see, it's really what you feel, all right? The truth you can feel, okay? All right, so also called dark mother, alien mother, or false parent, which forms itself into a complex field called the Black Madonna Network. Now, false parent has a lot to do with the father figure in the father role. Him leaving the household, or that, you know, the way everything has been from above have been designed for the father to leave the household through problems or issues or whatever it may be. That is the same energy that a mother incorporates, and when she leaves the home too and leaves her children, it's masculine energy. Because feminine energy will stay. Feminine energy comes into nurture. Feminine energy comes in with love. So when a woman taps into her masculine, she can also be in this false parent energy also too. All right? Which forms itself into complex fields called the Black Madonna Network, which is a misogynistic field of mind control collective consciousness used as artificial intelligence grid networks on this planet to feed the Theogian grid or black magic. Now, the Theogian grid is, if you have heard about how there's a net or a field over the earth that lets over this realm, holographic projection, and over this holographic projection is nets that let in certain energies and also blocks other energies, right? And so this is one of the things that they have put over the earth or around the field or whatever to control the information and the consciousness that humans receive, all right? Now, it says that the use of the, wait a minute, where was I at? The black magic fields are used to power up Baphomet energies. Now, we all know what the Baphomet is. It's that statue that's like this, right? One hand up, one hand down. Now that is the negative side of the feminine aspect, the feminine energy of the Sophia energy, all right? Sophia energy is the opposite of Christ energy. Christ is the masculine, the true masculine, which is tapped into the feminine also, which is the true God that's tapped into the feminine spirit, all right? And that's Christ, and that's Christos, and the feminine is the Sophia, all right? The Sophia is what needs to be introduced back to the earth field and to be unblocked. All right. So the Theogian grid blocks different feminine energies or whatever it may be, which is consciousness that is going to help us wake up, okay? And they do it with black magic, all right? Through wizardry, through different foods, through different technology, TVs, waves, sound frequencies, lights, or whatever, okay? The black magic fields are used to power up the Baphomik energies, which is the frequency fields and consciousness of Satanists, which use black force substances to conjure and call up the demonic heresies and negative disincarnates in the satanic ritual abuse and blood sacrifice, my bad. The Black Madonna Network contains the core pillars of spreading the anti-mother consciousness into humanity and helps to promote the patriarchal domination and anti-God belief systems that are propagated by the many violent religions that are controlled by the NAA. Now look, I've read this several times, but these words, they put all these big words in here which have powerful meaning, but it's hard to just keep up, so I'm going to go slow so I can pronounce better, all right? As y'all can see, I got this between my teeth, so my F words are... All right, so anyway, the Black Madonna Network, all right, has been put there as a core pillar of spreading the anti-mother consciousness in the humanity, all right? So what they have done, instead of using love, they block out the love, and they use the negative side of love, which is feminine tapping into her masculine energy, all right? So even the false parent can be like two masculine energies raising a child, okay? The feminine energy can be used anywhere, all right? So what they have done is they have took this archetype of someone who abandons, someone who abuses, someone who lies, whatever it may be, and has put this in the forefront so that it becomes a non-ending war spiritually, right? When it comes to us trying to find balance, trying to find love. You cannot find love in hidden agendas, hidden intentions of different beings that know way more than you are. Okay, while you're trying to soak up and move forward, soak up knowledge and wisdom in order to move forward, you've been lied to and fed lies that way that you're going the wrong path anyway. All right, blocks everywhere. All right, so what they have done is they have took negative disincarnates. All right, meaning it negative disincarnates is incarnations that have come in, but they're not fully developed. You get what I'm saying? They have entities that have come here to do negative, low vibration jobs, okay? To fill the void, pretty much, all right? So they have done it with blood sacrifices and satanic ritual abuse. The Black Madonna Networks contains the core pillars of spreading anti-mother consciousness. Okay, so they are the authors of this. That's their job. All right. So for polarity's sakes, there's always going to be, if there's goodness, there's going to be, and people who work the goodness. So we have a lot of entities, probably more entities that's positive than negative, but it's like as above, so below. If you have the negative entities here that are trying to propagate their agenda, you also have the positive that are, so there are forces that are pretty much fighting against each other. Same way as above. That's where we got it from. So everything up there is pretty much replicated down here. All right. So that's why I tell a lot of people, it's not your fault that you're going through what you're going through. If you know better, you do better. If you knew you were being controlled, if you knew that somebody else had an agenda for your life before you even came here, then you will understand why you go through so much pain and why you go through so much trouble. But until you realize who is the real enemy, we will always fight against each other looking with these eyes on this 3D plane. You get what I'm saying? In order to see the real enemy, to feel the real enemy, you have to go within. And regardless of the fact, you need the word. All right? The word is what formed everything. So a word fed into someone changes their whole way of perception, the way they see things. Without the proper words being brung to us, that's why they call it spelling. Without the proper words being spoken into your ear and seeking into your spirit, you cannot change. There will be no seed to change so that it can manifest, right? I hope that made sense, all right? So what they're saying is they have core pillars that actually spread the anti-mother consciousness so that you can never wake up to that true essence of love, which is the Sophia energy, all right? And they do it in humanity, and it helps to promote the patriarchal domination and the anti-God belief systems, all right? Meaning in that you have different gods, Jehovah, whoever these people is, Jesus, Allah, whoever these gods that people call, right? These are the anti-gods, all right? That's how they're able to bring these different gods in, because they were able to do it through the fragmentation of the consciousness. You get what I'm saying? From us not knowing, they were able to divide us, and they were able to teach this race this anti-mother program, and teach this race this anti-mother program, and different things like that, so that when we come together, we all are separated in our beliefs and what we, you know what I'm saying, live by. That makes it hard. It's easy to sit and talk to one person and probably to plant a seed to change their mind. But think about thousands of a race that believe this. You get what I'm saying? That have children upon children. So you can't even really get to all of those people in order to plant the seed in them. And before know it, there's hours, days, months, years that went by. You get what I'm saying? To some things become watered down versions of itself, and it never really, the core meaning of intentions never get out there, if you understand what I'm saying, okay? So the reversal mother of the Versa mother or dark mother was born from the universal shadow, all right? And the lunar matrix, all right? The universal shadow is whenever we individually or collectively undergo a major spiritual initiation into the higher dimensional frequencies of light and sound. Simultaneously, the transmission of those higher frequencies into the in-between, okay? Because remember I said there's a field or some kind of fence or something like that that goes and flushes these energies out as we go up and go up to God. What they have to do, they have to block, when you sin, the low energies and negative shadow energies cannot go with you. Your old way of being cannot go with you. So as you ascend, whatever these fences or whatever these whatever that's blocking up there, it pushes down all of the old you, the old low frequencies or whatever that can't hold you down anymore, and you ascend. You cannot go up to God with them, so they have to be out in the polarity of things. They have to stay down low, right? Okay, so it says that the in-between spaces will flush the surface and the darkest aspects through its many hidden facets of shadow. The universal shadow body holds so it's talking about a body, right? So you may have a body of good and positive energies, and you got a body of negative energies, which is the universal shadow body that holds the incredible, painful, traumatic wounds experienced by the collective consciousness. All right, so this is huge, right? Heavy, right? That resulted in disconnection with the internal God source fields. So everything that you go through on the 3D that as above has designed for you to keep you and hold you down, when you ascend, they have to stay down in the 3D, in the whatever, the lower realm, right? That's why this earth realm is filled with that, all right? Because as you ascend, you go up to the fifth and sixth and seventh dimension, and so be it. And those first through third chakras, energies that you have purged, have to stay here on the 3D. That's why this realm is filled with so much traumatic, you know, just templates of just killings and just, you know, dismays all around. Is because this is what this earth frequency is. It's a low, okay? So they say hot air rises. I say cold air. I don't know. But anyway, so what happens is the universal shadow body holds the incredible, painful, traumatic wounds experienced by the collective consciousness that resulted in the connection of the internal source field. So when you go back, you cannot take them. The shadow selves, okay, form into the larger gastrix of dark consciousness. The shadow selves are, when we incarnated into the 3D, we had to accept huge mesmetic packages. Remember I said in my other videos about a contract. You signed a contract when you came here. And this is one of the entails on your contract. Is a miasmatic, I can't pronounce words, y'all. Miasmatic package that is attached to the collective human mental bodies on this planet. They are called universal shadow bodies, the negative form or phantom sun bodies, right? Remember you heard that we are our own suns, right? We rotate, okay? We pretty much. These phantom bodies are what generate shadow selves, all right? So these are the negative sides of us. They have to stay on a certain realm as we go up a certain realm, a higher realm with God. They don't go anywhere. They exist because they have taken on a form. If they had not took on a form, then they wouldn't be in existence. But because they are thought forms that have took on a form, they cannot, they go on for eternity. Energy go for eternity. Energy cannot be destroyed, right? So they are called the universal shadow bodies, the negative forms, or the phantom sun bodies. All of our, you know, masses, one of the masses, you know what I'm saying? These phantom bodies are what generate shadow cells, and these shadow bodies are what connect unawakened humans to the 911 timeline of the Alpha Omega agenda and the negative alien agenda, okay? And what they mean by that is the 911 timelines is saying that in our life, in our history, this 911, just like what happened with the 911 situation, has happened before in another lifetime, in another lifetime, in a lifetime. It has worked before, so they try it over and over in all of our lifetimes and our timelines, okay? So these tragic events happen as like an insert that, like, say for instance, like a record that just keep playing on the same song every time it go around until somebody moves the needle, right? The shadow selves form into large gas states of dark consciousness bodies, which are shaped into organizing principles. Now, in another video, I talked about how things has their own place. From your zodiac sign, your eyes, from every element that's here on earth, whether it's alive or not, has a place. It's a principle. Remember they say we fight not against flesh and blood, but about principles, because we are spirits experiencing human situations of life, not humans experiencing spiritual things. This is the deception, okay? So it says that these dark forces have descended even further through the abuse and inorganic technologies and AI systems. So what has happened is these consciousness bodies, which are shaped into an organizing principle, okay, because they have to be organized now. Now that they're out here in wherever they be stored at on this low frequency body, they have to be organized to where they go, right? Which is the based which is based in the total absence of light. There is no light where these bodies are, right? And these dark forces have descended even further through the abuse of inorganic technologies AI system, meaning they were supposed to stay down, but what happens is through the AI and the inorganic technologies used by these other, low beings, they have some kind of way allowed the negative energy to rise also. You get what I'm saying? So that's why you get, even when people are sin, you get false information being taught to them and in order to still keep them blocked. So when you ascend and go up, these negative is some still got technology and still have energy that comes up with you, forces that come up with you also to, still try to pull you back down with false information, because still the eye is not clear. The third eye is not clear yet. Okay? Now, that means that, on a side note, everything that you do, go within first. If this does not tell you about all of this, then you should not go that route or go that direction. You have to be led by spirit, because you are spirit. Okay, you cannot take spirit and do these things out here without, consulting with it and thinking that you are with it. You always have to come back to zero, come back to your crystals, come back to who God is. Okay, and that is the spirit that's inside of you. That's Christ, that's looking for, Sophia, the love. Okay, you have to go back in order to be led. Until we incorporate the balance that we need, you have to let your spirit lead you so you can be back reversed, so your inside comes back out and your outside goes in. You get what I'm saying? And you become spirit again with a human aspect, not a human with a spiritual aspect. Okay? So these extensive and advanced use of the AI, artificial intelligence, by these races to gain sophisticated, they even say sophisticated. That's Sophia. Anything sophisticated is Sophia. Anything that's wonderful, marvelous, complex, easy, whatever it may be, anything sophisticated is Sophia. It's the feminine spirit. They have used the AI by these races to gain sophisticated, very highly technological, powerful, psi-based intelligence and prolonged lifespans. This is how they prolong our lifespan. This is how they keep us going through the loop, is by the deception of not letting us know the truth about these energies that we are living through. Okay, has assimilated many of these shadow creatures into fully inorganic AI creatures. They have took the forms, our negative forms. When we ascend, they take our negative forms that are still, remember I say they're in the body and they still have a form. They shape them, okay? Because I said they have to be organized. So in this organization, they have used technology that while it is forming into what it's supposed to be, they have formed it into other things to be able to rise up or whatever and come whatever, okay? So fully inorganic AI creatures, and they have formed creatures, made life forms out of this, okay, which further animates the shadow bodies that it finds into use for the alien machinery weaponry. Okay, so basically they is using the, just say, your dirt, you get what I'm saying, your waste. They are using your life form, your life energy waste, and using it against you to hold you down. Because like I said, when you advance with God, then the negative part of you becomes separate from you, but it has to go somewhere. But instead of it being destroyed, it still has a form. And so they, other beings have used it against you to pull you back, because it's going to be familiar to you. That's why our energies are familiar. That's how they're able to deceive us, because they come from us. Nothing in existence is new. It all comes from us and has been, repeatedly recycled in this recycling animation of this holographic universe that we live in. All right. So what a lot of, I'm going to have to go back to this one because I wanted to, let me see. All right. So what they have done is pretty much use all that we are, okay, and has used it against us, okay? The universal shadow is pretty much the dark mother. It's pretty much, you are love, we are love. We was created in love because two people came together and had sex. They loved, they was on a higher frequency. They made it. And so they came and you came. Okay, and you came into this world. You came. They didn't come. You came. You came into this world. All right, and now you created. You was able to get a body. You know what I'm saying? From as above, from that womb, you came into a lower room into here, and you was birthed through the. Okay, and so what I'm saying, through the black hole, this is how they have put us back on this side, from us being all, have took us and like minimized, okay, from the macro to the micro, and minimized us and brought us through the wormhole and made our world small now. Okay, this is the reversal effect. All right, and in our small world, they was able to put templates up and set it up just like how they play TV all day. This is pretty much how they do our lives. TV never goes off. Since they created it, never goes off. Okay, and so this is how they are also replicating our lives. Our lives are replicated by these TVs and stuff like that, to always be something playing, something being given to us, something stimulating us, something keeping us always in this cycle of rotation, by us being always stimulated and giving energies, instead of us being able to be quiet in silence and listen to nature sounds, tones, natural sounds, in order for us to bring what's in us out. Okay, it's being blocked by the world that's around you, from your phone, from your TV, from your computer, from your people that's around you. We all been programmed to distract, instead of being able to stay away from each other in order to get downloads from our cosmic, mother. You get what I'm saying? In order to find Sophia, we have to be in tune to hear Sophia, because she's the intuition. She's the inner. She's not the outer. We live in the outer, but we have to go within and connect back. That is the true divine masculine, divine feminine. That is the true twin flame. Christos Sophia is for you to connect back with the feminine spirit, whether you male or female. Okay, so let me see, make sure I ain't missing anything. They had on here something. Oh yeah, the Black Madonna Network is pretty much, like I said, them taking all the black aspects of the female and making it demonic. Okay, and it feeds through the fifth dimensional gates. All right, and they also have, one of them I want to say something about it. Where is it? Okay, the fallen goddess. Okay, the reversal mother of the dark mother was born from the universal shadow and the lunar matrix, and it is the anti-female collective consciousness of the black dragon and satanic, whose accumulated collective consciousness is harvested by the NAA to gain inorganic power from the earth grid and from humanity, by hijacking and raping the female and the mother principle energies. Thus, in order to gain full access to siphon the planetary and consciousness energies, as well as the human soul, they have set up global misogyny and sexual misery programs that further spread the satanic forces to take power and control on the earth. This is the entropic system, okay? Entropic system. All right, we got a tropical system out here, because remember, before everything became a table and a house and all this agricultural things, it was all natural things, right? So entropic systems put in place in all controller pillars of society, in order that they can continue to hijack all aspects of feminine or female consciousness and all of its permutations, such as the fallen goddess consciousness energies, which give them access to the earth energies in order to achieve their total control and enslavement agenda over humanity. Okay, now I want to go to the fallen goddess. All right, in many. Okay, before I read that, because I'm already on 28, and I'm not trying to make this too long, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to read, okay. So during the destruction of Tiamat, y'all remember Tiamat, if y'all remember, it's a planet before. This was Earth before now. Now, you remember in the Bible, they talks about how, what, I don't know, this is really not in the Bible, but they talked about, I think the god Thor or Ra, or I can't remember, right? I don't really get into the Baphomet or whatever it may be, but they talk about how the body of one of the gods, Osiris, was broken into many pieces, and Isis was trying to find him. Okay, now this is what I'm believing, and this is what I believe now. Okay, during the destruction of Tiamat, remember I said it was Earth planet before Earth came. All right, it was the first Earth or second Earth, whatever. During the destruction of Tiamat, the planet, a portion of Christos Sophia, masculine and feminine, divine essence, became trapped within the phantom matrix and material realms of creation, and she existed outside of the house of God. The Christos Sophia body was split into many negative forms of itself, to which these forms were captured and used as lower material forces of Satanism and Luciferian. Okay, now if you go back to my other video, I finished this paragraph. But on this, what I got from this is, we talked about the feminine spirit coming back. This goes in alignment with they saying how it was a male that was cut up into pieces. It wasn't a male. It was the female planet. It was the female planet. Planet is our body. We are planets, okay? And on our, we have different coordinations on our bodies. We are planets, just like as above, she was also a planet, a planetarian, you know what I'm saying, construct. And what happened was, when the aliens came in and invaded, they blew her up, and pieces and fragments of her went all over. And so other entities and beings were grabbing, you know what I'm saying, all they can get of her body parts, because that was creation. That's how they were going to eat. That's how they were going to survive. Okay, and so they took it in order to create other life forms, or, you know what I'm saying, other planetarian bodies or whatever it may be, for their own survival reasons, right? And it was feminine spirit. All right, so what they talk about in the Baphomet, which is the low version of what this Tiamat Christos Sophia spirit is pretty much a lie. It's one of the deceptions. All right, now what happened is, they said these anomalies was made as part of her fragmented consciousness and she is consciousness. Feminine spirit is consciousness. It's what's inside of us that speaks, that helps to pretty much move this body around, all right, to make us alive, all right. Now, her fallen body parts were used to impregnate, and they were used for grotesque creations. All right, these archons and parasites, they use them and pretty much just trapped her in lower matter. This is how it is. But remember, they said that it was a masculine. It wasn't a masculine. It's feminine. All right, because that's the only way you could create universes. It's the only way that you could keep this going, is by a feminine spirit. All right, because the earth is feminine. That's how it keeps growing grass. That's why it keeps growing trees. That's why birds, you know what I'm saying, feed from it. It gives. Okay, the part of Christos Sophia fallen consciousness is called Alchemet. The subsequent impregnated creation. It's the impregnated creation. It keeps birthing, right? And so it's enmeshed in all negative forms. And I just wanted to bring that up because my last video, I didn't touch on that. It was when I closed the video that Spirit started to speak to me about the paragraph. And it was talking about, you know what I'm saying, this negative Baphomet. And I really wasn't understanding what I was reading in that tone, because I was on a different frequency, right? So I'm really understanding what they're saying now. This Christos spirit, it says